So like there's been moments like where I'm like, I am burnt out and I just want to close this down. But like every time I do another interview, because all of our stories are so different, and I'm just reading it like, how did you survive this? I'm just reading like, not only did you survive it, but you created something great out of it. And so I think for me, like those moments,
Breaking the silence, taking the dive in. Nikki pulling strings like she playing the violin. Made in his likeness, radiant vibrance. Give them all glory, ain't no way to deny it. She gon' make you laugh, she gon' stimulate your mind. Making things shake, she ain't in no wasting time. They can come close but can't imitate the grind. Got a different way to illustrate and innovate designs. BTS podcast, gotta watch that. Teaching us the game, that mean Nikki got class. If you watch it once, you gon' wanna stop back. This an opportunity that you cannot pass. Unleash your inner voice, cause better days coming. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days.
Before I get started, let me give a huge shout out to my artists that have been a part of Breaking the Silence platform for my intro and outro. Gospel artist Incognita and Maestro, also the lyricist, for the amazing job they've done with my intro and my outro. So, welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Breaking the Silence, where your voice matters, where your stories whisper. They don't whisper, they speak, and your pain meets purpose, and voices get room to breathe. I'm your host, Arthur Nikki Nicole, and speaking of voices that refuse to stay quiet, today's guest is someone who didn't wait for permission to be heard. I'm joined by Dr. I'm going to mess her name up, y'all, but I'm going to try this out. And I should have asked her before we even started. Dr. I love that ring to that. Dr. Lee Marqunita De'sharay Lowe. She going to get it right for me, y'all, though. But let me tell you about this amazing woman. She's a scholar, educator, and founder of LDL Magazine, a platform dedicated to amplifying unrepresented voices and uplifting educators, entrepreneurs, and community leaders. Her work bridges education, social justice, and storytelling, creating a space for conversations that are real, inclusive, and rooted in what? Impact. So, that's all I'm going to give y'all. After this countdown, please welcome this amazing voice to Breaking the Silence. Now I'm asking you, did you have any questions? My question was, I forgot all about it, how to pronounce your name, and I got there and messed it up.
That is okay. And I will give you a name. You can call me for this first. Hello, author Nikki Nicole. So I go by like my doctoral full name, which is Dr. Marqunita De'sharay Lowe, but I don't have people call me that. You can call me Nita. It's my nickname.
Okay, Miss Nita, because you know what? I just messed that up for you. But I would never got that right.
You are okay. Yes.
So for anyone that's just tuning in and wondering, who is she? How would you introduce yourself in your own words?
Yes, in my own words, you actually came exactly how I would introduce myself. I always like to start off by introducing myself as an educator, because education expands beyond the classroom. I like to introduce myself as a scholar because I am a PhD scholar. And I also like to introduce myself as a founder because I am a founder of several companies, one that is currently active that we're probably going to talk about today. So, yes.
Wow, I love it. I just love the fact that you have that doctor in front of your name.
Thank
I
you.
I love it. Hard work. A lot of people don't know that's hard work.
Exactly. And I
Wear
tell
that
people,
name.
yes, titles hold they hold stories.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So now, when you look back at your journey, what version of yourself would be the most you would be most surprised about where you are right now in your life?
Yes, I would actually say I will be most surprised with my current company, LDO Magazine. Um, I've always represented like voices when I was a teacher in the classroom, but with LDO Magazine, I never imagined that I would represent like voices of people globally, or to help them represent their voice. So it's definitely not something I would say even 10 years ago I foresaw myself doing, and to see that it is like real and it's growing is definitely like one of those like wow moments.
So now, take me back to the moment where LDL was birthed. How did that concept come up, and when did you decide? You know what? This is what I want to do. This is who I am.
Yeah, so there's kind of a three tier. The company LDO Magazine, I always like to explain what the name stands for because some people actually they see the acronym and they're like, I don't know. It stands for my name that you just pronounced, so Marqunita De'sharay Lowe. But the reason that I chose my acronym is because not only is the magazine a representation of like what you mentioned, it's a representation of social justice, community service leaders, scholars, but that's everything that I represent as a person. So the magazine itself was launched in November 2022 during the pandemic. And that's when a lot of people were either losing their businesses or they were either starting to like tap into that creativity. And so there was kind of like this like parallel merge of like those two different sides. But in that midst, I noticed there was a lot of people that were still trying to seek PR. Not only were they trying to seek PR, because there's different levels of PR. I think when people think PR, they always think like, for example, television. There is publishing. There is what you're doing. This is PR podcast. You know, there's social media. And so I realized specifically in the magazine sector, there wasn't really a space for like people at the local level for both your traditional PR and also your publishing. So prior to LDO Magazine, I had like 20 years in just the publishing industry, but I didn't have that magazine experience. My magazine experience came directly from me being featured in magazines, for example, like British Vogue. And people were just like, how did you get in these magazines? And, you know, and I was like, you know what? I'm about to do something. I'm about to combine my publishing experience and my experience with being in these magazines and start a magazine during the pandemic so I can provide people with PR. I was thinking it was just going to be like honestly a 1 year thing. After our first magazine, we literally blew up. And so that's how we got to where we are now. Yes. So the pandemic, yes.
Wow. You know what? A lot of great ideas and business ventures come out of the pandemic. So maybe it was a reason for everybody to go through that, and realize, you know what? I got talent. I need to use
Exactly. Yeah. I said it's like the birth of creativity.
it. Was like a lot of people really realize that, you know what? I can start a business and I can do this and doing well now.
Exactly. And I love to see these businesses grow, like to grow. Yes.
So now LDL magazine highlights real people and real work. How do you decide which stories that you want to spotlight in your magazine?
Yes, so there are two parts to it. We have focused on specifically three sectors. The first sector is scholars and educators. The second sector is the creative arts. So that is like an umbrella of anything from like sports, dance, music, art, of course. And then the third sector is philanthropy. So that's like your community service and nonprofits. So the first thing you're seeing is like in entrepreneurship, does this person fall into any of these sectors? Which typically they do, because that's a wide range. The second part of it is what I call vetting. So I do all of the initial vetting for LDL Magazine, mainly because I want to make sure each magazine has a theme. So just to give you an example, we had like a beautiful like Asian American history magazine. So of course I'm vetting to see like, how are you representing your culture and your platform? So I vet to see if the people that apply are people that I recruit for fit that theme. And I think the third thing that I look for is authenticity, because, you know, in the social media space, not everything is quite what it appears to be. And I would say that is the key factor of why our magazine has grown, because once I get like all the people to be featured in the magazine, you will like ironically see that they all fit together like a puzzle. And I think because so much just like strategic vetting goes into it.
So now, what do you think is like the most challenging part about the magazine? Because back in time, if you look at magazines, you had something you can hold in your hand, something you go in the store and you buy. Now
Yes.
things have like changed to like this digital world where you just go online and read these articles. So what challenges have you faced, being in that realm now?
Yes, you actually just hit the spot. So the positive is the digital space is beautiful. Almost anyone can access it. It tends to be very cheap. But for people that are very traditional like me, I love print magazines. We do offer print magazines. So to answer your question, the biggest challenge is, I wouldn't say the print space is dying. It's just not as popular anymore. And I would say 60% of magazine sales, as far as the income coming back to the company, comes from print sales. Um, Even though digital is popular, most magazines, we don't make a lot from digital because subscriptions tend to be like around the $2 or $5 range. Another challenge is because digital is becoming popular, a lot of print, like printing facilities have closed. And so there's a lot of people kind of like going to one print provider, which makes it even more challenging to get print copies. I know some of our customers are like, it takes me 2 months to get a magazine. I'm like, oh, if y'all knew what goes on behind the scenes of this print. And
Okay.
so there's also that, because a lot of print facilities have closed. It takes a little longer for print copies for smaller companies like me to get those copies. So the industry is suffering.
Wow. See, I didn't even know that. I didn't know a lot of the printing companies, closed down. But
Yes.
like the baby boomers, they like stuff that they can hold in their hands. Because people tell me talking about, people don't read no more. Yes, they do. They
They
read.
do.
There's people that still want a book that they can put in their hands rather than looking at a screen. And I'm one of them. And I'm still kind of young, but I like to have a book in my hand and sit down,
Exactly.
my feet to the heater, and read a good book or something. But
Yes.
I didn't know the printing companies was like closing down. 2 months
Hmm.
to get a magazine though. That's frustrating.
Yes. It is very frustrating, and it's kind of, I think I've been able to, not with every customer, but most customers I tend to be very like communicative with, like emailing, like, this is what's happening, but it's coming. And I think they trust it enough to know that they're going to get it.
Right. So now looking back at, from now what's going on with the print companies closing and everything that's going on with print, what would you change or do differently in the launch of your magazine?
Yes, what I would do differently, and it's actually what I'm transitioning to doing now, and it's not easy, is internalizing majority of distribution. So I think sometimes, like, when how most people find us is not through our website, it's from distribution. So maybe it's through like a magazine shop online or through like a library, which I'm thankful for because that is exposure. But ultimately, it doesn't necessarily benefit the company. Number one, because like, just to give you an example, I receive about, for a magazine that might sell on a distribution site for $10.99, I receive 75% of that royalty. So it's kind of very similar to the music industry and royalties when you hear artists say, I'm like, oh, trust me, you are, it's real. But when you internalize distribution, meaning if you can get everything internal, you will receive almost like 90% of that. So the challenge with that is people would have to know how to find your website. And, if you don't have that, despite us being global, we still don't quite have that, for example, Vogue status yet for people to be like, okay, I know how to find your website. So distribution is, I wish I could have started that earlier.
Wow. But you know what? Everything now is based around like SEO. You make sure you're using the right keywords. You gotta make sure that you're consistent. You gotta make sure that you're in their face, and that's how you get them to find their website, because you gotta like repeat it. And sometimes you gotta go back to old school and give out business cards. Now, but you know what? They got digital business cards. I don't think I like the digital.
I've seen them. I haven't used it.
I like that. I just got some business cards in. I like to, connect with people. So I like to be in your face and say, hey, yeah, you can scan the code and go to my YouTube channel, but at least you got something you can resort back to, because it's business cards that I've had for years that I'd be like, oh, I need to visit this place from a business card that I held in my hand. You
like me.
I'm old school.
Pop them in the wallet.
Okay, pop right in there or on my board. I have it sitting right there. So I'm old school, very old school. So now, what pushed you from learning about systems to actually challenging and changing them?
Yes, to directly answer that, prior to where I'm at now with my being a professor, I was a teacher, specifically an early childhood educator for 12 years. I tell people what I do now is just different. I was always advocating for my toddlers in the classroom, whether it was for them getting speech services, therapy services, whether a family need resources, helping them in IEP meetings. So I tell people I think every teacher is an advocate. I think any teacher that you speak to will tell you we're out here in the trenches fighting for our lives and these kids' lives. And so that was always there. Specifically though, when I started my PhD program, I really started, how can I say this? I really started to see things that are happening in the world, like how to approach it more so like as a scholar. So meaning how do I approach it with my voice? And then how do I use my voice to make impact? And that was very important for me, because sometimes I think we always think it's like being on the front line, I admire those people that are out there on the front line, but I was like, you can make impact with what you're doing, through your voice. And when I actually realized that was my skill, I started doing that in a more way that aligned with me, but also that could help other people. So it started with teaching and education. Now it's just in a different capacity.
But I think that it takes a while for us to understand and know that our voice, man, that little tongue right there, that means a lot, and it's power in it. But a lot of people are stuck in in a mode where they don't know who they are. And once we know who we are in our own skin, then we start looking like, okay, well, I think I can do this. Let me speak for a change.
Exactly.
And maybe somebody will listen.
Yes.
So that's once you know your voice and you know who you are, then you can step out and it'd be so easy. It was just saying that, once you do something that you love, you never work a day in your life. That is so true.
That is very true.
When you love it, it's not like you're going to work.
Yes.
It's not. It's easy. But how do you navigate, being a researcher, a storyteller, without losing the heart of either one of them?
Yes, for me, to be honest, this sounds probably so cliche. It's honestly by the people that I interview. So there's been moments where I'm I am burnt out and I just want to close this down. But every time I do another interview, because all of our stories are so different, and I'm just reading it how did you survive this? I'm just reading not only did you survive it, but you created something great out of it. And so I think for me, those moments, I feel I can't balance it. Every single magazine that comes out with LDL Magazine, I literally go back to and read someone's story, because I'm it literally empowers me. So I would definitely say, I would kind of say even though this is a business, my magazine has also kind of been the savior, like for myself, of staying balanced.
I can definitely relate to that because podcasting, I meet so many different people that come across the platform, from music artists to entrepreneurs to educators, nurses, hair, everybody. And on top of them doing their career, there's also that story that comes along with them of how they got there, where they
Yes.
originated from, and then where they end up winning, literally winning, and coming from the trenches
Yes.
of life. You know, going, you be like you said, you be like, how did you get through that without just saying, you know what, I give up? Why didn't you
Yes.
quit? I'm glad you didn't, but why didn't you quit? Because most people couldn't handle it. So now, when you do, you said telling these stories. So you got to research the stories that you do, and you sit down, and you actually interview with these people, and then put in your magazine.
Yes, close. So how I do my interviews? All the interviews are via email. So it's kind of what you said. The first process is research. And so literally I'm researching them like they're a dissertation. So, I'm looking at their social media, I'm watching their videos, I'm Googling them. And I tell people it's not stalking, it's because it helps me to curate the questions to ask you. There are some questions like we leave general. So, for example, what are your social media handles? What is your name? But the actual core questions of the magazine is related to like what I research on them. And so I think that's powerful. I always tell people it's like magazine with storytelling. It's not, one of the things we don't do for the magazine is advertisements, because we purely want it to be people's stories through interviews. And so I think that can only be authentic if you actually research people. Like, how do you know what to ask them? Even you, like, I watched some of your episodes on here because I was like, I want to get an example of Nikki's style, but not only that, but the people that are on the platform, and it actually inspired me. So
Look at you researching me.
yes, yes, yes.
But you know what? But that is so true. We're more alike than I know, because you do have to not only go off the bio, you got to go beyond that. You got to look at their social media, see what they're doing. Maybe they like to dance. Maybe they like to sing. Like, you find out more about a person from looking at their social medias.
Yes, you do, exactly. Because it's like not like it's our brand.
You are the brand. So at the end of the day, that's why you have to be careful about what you put in the atmosphere, because you never know who's looking. You really don't.
Exactly.
Really. So now, what's one moment in your career that quietly confirmed you were walking in your purpose?
Definitely receiving my PhD doctoral title. I can't speak for all Black scholars, but I would say majority of Black scholars, when you receive your doctoral title, it literally feels like a shedding, because you see, I think people think it's like, oh my gosh, this is great. I'm like, oh no, we went through so much to get this title. But in that shedding, it was a moment of, okay, I did it. Specifically, my PhD was like, I'm like, I want to do this not just for myself, but the African diaspora, to make a statement. So when I actually walked that stage and got hooded, I held my tears, but it was just like a very powerful ancestral moment for me. Yes.
Oh, so now at the end, the very end, do you have to write that long essay to finish it out? Is that
I
true?
am still writing it.
What?
Yes, even though I, passed my defense, graduated. That is one thing about defense, is you can still be writing it after you graduate. I'm hoping, not hoping, it will be published this year.
Whoa! So that is true. So
It is
now,
very true.
what if you don't pass that last long essay? That doesn't put your degree in jeopardy, does it?
Yeah. So how
Title.
dissertation? Yeah. To answer your question, it's pretty much you just got to keep revising until they
Mm.
approve it. Until they approve it.
Oh, it has to be approved.
Oh yes, it is. The best way to describe it is a political hierarchy. For my dissertation, it has to go through like 6 different people.
Wow.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes,
Bless your
bureaucracy.
heart. Bless your heart.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, "Hey, we just don't push it out like a book. Oh no, it gotta get approved."
Oh
Yes,
my
yes.
God. Well, it's still that's amazing that you said it. It's like shedding. I never heard nobody say that it's like shedding, but it's so emotional at the same time to go through that. So how long did you have to endure that? Like, you was in school for like 10 years, maybe?
Yeah,
Uh,
so Oh, sorry, Arthur, Nikki, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, my PhD, technically still in because I'm doing my dissertation, has been 5 years. Yeah, they say average can be from 4 years to 8 years, depending on your field. I think the science fields are like 8 years. Well,
Oh my goodness. I'm so proud of you.
thank
I am
you,
so
thank
proud.
you,
Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep trying. Keep going.
thank you, thank you. I needed that.
So now I'm down to the last question before I pass the mic to you. If your work could rewrite one narrative society keeps getting wrong, what would it be and why?
Oh, I know how to answer that right now. The bond between Black women and Black men, I think it is a very toxic narrative that's out. Specifically, I would like to rewrite it through where did this toxic narrative came from, and how can we bring healing to this narrative? Yes.
Now that's deep. That's
Yes.
deep. Wow. So now I'm ready to pass the mic to you. This is the moment where you let everybody know how to follow your journey. Tell them about the website. Tell them about the magazine. How they can support you. Anything you have going on where they can support your movement and your moments. So after the countdown, I'm passing the mic to you.
Right. Thank you.
So before I pass the mic, I just want to say thank you. I am grateful to be able to converse with some amazing people doing amazing things every day and share them with you so you can know about these people. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting Breaking the Silence. It means the world to me. So if this space has inspired you, challenged you, or made you feel seen in some type of way, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel, like this episode, share it with someone who needs it, and drop that comment and let me know you're here because I want to hear your thoughts. Your support means everything to me. It keeps these conversations going. So now, let me pass the mic so you can know how to get in contact with this amazing guest. So let's get back into this episode.
Thank you, author Nikki Nicole. So you can find LDL Magazine. Our website is www.ldlmagazine.com. You can find us on Instagram at our handle at LDL Magazine. You can also find us on Facebook at LDL Magazine. You can find us on YouTube, LDL Magazine. And we also have a TikTok. Our TikTok handle is at LDL Magazine. Thank you.
She kept it short and sweet.
Yes. That's my dissertation practice.
So do you have any advice for anybody out there that's struggling to maybe get to where you are today, in your shoes, or trying to get to that point to finish their story?
Yes, my advice would be if you have to stop something and start over, it is not failure. Sometimes failure puts you on the path of your purpose. And so sometimes you got to shut things down and just start again. So that's my advice.
Absolutely. Sometimes you got to start, but you know what? A lot of people are afraid of starting over. It's okay.
Yes. It's
Really
okay.
Sometimes you have to press restart, reset, refocus, and keep moving, because sometimes we're not going to get it right the first time, the second time, third time. It might take us a long time to get it right, but as long as we get it right,
you got it. Yes.
because you're going to learn. My mom used to tell me all the time, keep living. I didn't know what she was talking about. I was like, I hope I keep living. But when I got older, I started realizing what she meant by by and keep living. All these sayings she used to say. You learn something every single day of your life. Literally, you're never going to know everything. And it took me a while to get to that point. At one point, I thought I knew everything. I thought I knew what life was about. But as you grow into an adult and you start going through those seasons in your life and them storms in your life that's raging, you be like, okay, I know what my mom was talking about. I should have listened more. Maybe I should have took my time to say, I can't wait. I can't wait till I turn 18 to get out this house. It's nothing out here, y'all.
I know it's funny how we regret now. We're like, let's get back.
Okay, it's nothing out here but bills and problems, and it's nothing. You still gotta follow rules. When you're out here in this world, you gotta follow rules.
Exactly.
You ain't free. You're not free. You just out of your mom and dad's house. That's it.
Exactly. I felt that in the soul.
Okay. Mama, I didn't mean it. Take me back.
Take it back.
But thank you so much for coming and supporting my journey. I'm just glad that we were able to connect and make it.
Thank you, author Nikki Nicole. Keep doing what you're doing. It is needed, especially now.
Yes, it's a lot going on in this world. Thank you so much. And thank you to whoever's tuned in today for this amazing episode. I hope this conversation has left you feeling seen, heard, inspired. And remember, your story matters, your voice matters, and healing begins when we stop suffering in silence. So until next time, keep speaking your truth, keep showing up for yourself. Sometimes that's hard, but keep showing up for yourself and keep breaking the silence, because healing starts when what? We speak. So until next time, y'all hang in there. We got this.
Better days, slowly but surely it's a better space that erase my mind, so I meditate till I levitate, I elevate, but I learn not to hesitate no more, keep moving forward, chase my goals and focus more towards it, hate the lows but I need those to flourish, place my goals in front, that's what's important. So I ask myself what inspires me, breaking out of my shell, feeling yo shot quiet me, and now I'm breaking the silence like I'm Nikki Nicole, let's go. Promise you gon' see better. Hey, gotta keep going till you see them. Promise you gon' see better. Hey, you gotta keep going till you see them.